Welcome back, football fans. Big news coming out of Barcelona ahead of their Champions League opener against Newcastle United. Marc Bernal makes his emotional return after more than a year out with a knee injury, with Gavi sending a heartfelt message of support as he recovers from his own setback. Meanwhile, all eyes are on Ronald Araujo, who Hansi Flick is preparing to unleash against Newcastle's giant striker Nick Woltemade. Plus, Barcelona are keeping tabs on Ajax wonderkid Aaron Bouwman, a defender already being compared to Virgil van Dijk. And of course the big question, will Lamine Yamal be fit for St. James Park, or is his injury worse than expected? Stay tuned because we've got all the latest updates, transfer buzz and tactical insights right here. Marc Bernal made his long-awaited return from a serious knee injury on Sunday as Barcelona faced Valencia in La Liga. The 18-year-old was a late substitute at the Estadio Johan Cruyff as he made his first appearance in over a year for Hansi Flick's side. Gavi knows all about what it's like to face a long spell out with knee issues and has sent a message to Bernal after seeing him back in action for Barça. He responded to a video of Bernal's recovery on Instagram stories with the message, "Anyone who has had this injury knows how hard it is. I'm very happy, brother." Gavi is once again out of action with a new knee problem that has already forced him to miss Barcelona's last 2 matches, as well as Spain's latest international fixtures. There are growing concerns that he might need another minor operation, although for now he is undergoing conservative treatment in an attempt to avoid surgery. Meanwhile, Barcelona are preparing to launch their UEFA Champions League campaign on Thursday, with a tough opening test away at Newcastle United St. James Park. It is not going to be a walk in the park for the Catalans despite their recent 6-0 win over Valencia, with Newcastle boasting significant firepower. Although the Magpies did lose a few players during the summer transfer window, the club have roped in some star talents as well, including former Bundesliga forward Nick Woltemade. Flick's plan to stop Woltemade. According to Diario Sport, Flick has a plan to put a stop to Woltemade's imposing presence in the Newcastle United final third this week. Much of the German's plans revolve around one key piece in the Barcelona defense, Ronald Araujo. The Uruguayan international has struggled to impose his presence in these early parts of the season, which has led to speculation about his long-term future at the club. Liverpool, in fact, are among the clubs interested in his services. However, Flick sees Araujo as a key defensive weapon for Barcelona as they look to cushion the impact of Woltemade, whose imposing 1.98 m presence makes him a major aerial threat for the club. Woltemade has already scored on his Premier League debut. Flick, therefore, is wary of his impact. And in order to negate the tall German, the Barcelona coach plans to deploy Araujo in central defense, asking the centre-back to tightly mark the Newcastle United forward. Although Araujo is considerably shorter than the towering Woltemade, he is by far Barcelona's most physically and aerially adept defender, making him the perfect antidote for Woltemade. As such, we can expect him to start against the Magpies this midweek. This match could be a perfect chance for Ronald Araujo to re-establish himself, as he hasn't quite convinced under Hansi Flick so far. Barcelona, meanwhile, had a busy summer transfer window, bringing in Joan Garcia from Espanyol, Marcus Rashford from Manchester United, and offloading players who didn't fit into Flick's plans. Yet the club is still looking to the future. According to Team Talk, the Catalans are closely following Ajax's latest rising star, Aaron Bouwman. Just 18 years old, the Dutch centre-back is already considered one of Europe's brightest defensive prospects and has even drawn comparisons to Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk thanks to his mix of strength, composure, and intelligence on the pitch. Standing tall at 6 feet 2 inches, Bouwman combines physical strength with technical quality and tactical intelligence, traits that have made him a standout in Ajax's famed academy, De Toekomst. Originally a striker, he also retains an attacking edge that gives him a unique dimension as a modern defender. Bouwman made his Eredivisie debut in August 2025 against SC Telstar, stepping in for the injured Josip Sutalo and helping Ajax to a clean-sheet victory. His calmness in possession and ability to distribute the ball under pressure impressed observers, showcasing maturity beyond his years. Interest in him is fierce. Alongside FC Barcelona, Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea and Manchester City are all keeping close tabs. Ajax have always been a great production line for talented youngsters, and it looks as though Bouwman is the latest in a long list of players to come through the Eredivisie club and go on to do great things elsewhere in Europe. Ajax, however, are determined not to lose their rising gem too soon. The Dutch Giants are reportedly preparing a bumper contract extension, with his current deal running until 2027. Barcelona would undoubtedly benefit from adding a young centre-back like Bouwman, whose profile complements the club's long-term vision. With Ajax pushing to secure his future and several European giants closely following his progress, the coming months will be decisive in determining whether Barcelona can position themselves strongly in the race for his signature. Newcastle United latest news. Hansi Flick brings his Barcelona side to St. James' Park on Thursday night to kick off their Champions League campaign. Newcastle United's Champions League campaign gets underway on Thursday night when Barcelona travel to St. James' Park. The Spanish champions reached the semi-final of last season's competition and will be one of the toughest opponents that the Magpies will face this season. Hansi Flick's side will travel to Tyneside on the back of a 6-0 win against Valencia on Sunday, one they secured without the talents of superstar Lamine Yamal. The Catalan Giants will start Thursday night as firm favorites, but Eddie Howe and his team will be hopeful of being able to cause an upset, just like they did against Paris Saint-Germain just shy of 2 years ago. Barcelona injury news v Newcastle United. Ahead of making the trip to England, Barcelona will be sweating on the fitness of key man Lamine Yamal after he missed their win over Valencia. The teenager played twice for Spain whilst on international duty earlier this month, despite already carrying a knock. Spain defeated Turkey 6-0 and then Bulgaria 3-0 in comfortable victories for the reigning European champions, with Yamal playing 73 and 79 minutes respectively in those games. Luis de la Fuente's use of Yamal in those games caught the wrath of Flick at the weekend as he bemoaned the amount of minutes that Yamal was exposed to whilst away with his country. Lamine will not be available against Valencia? It's a pity, said Flick. He played with the national team despite pain. He had problems, played 79 and 73 minutes, and didn't even train between matches because of this pain. That is not really taking care of the players, is it? It is not. Spain, they have the best team in the world, best players in the world. In every position they are unbelievably good. The Gazette has launched a new WhatsApp NUFC channel to bring the latest news, analysis and team and injury updates directly to your phone. Simply click this link to join our NUFC WhatsApp channel. So, maybe they will also want to take care of our players, our young players, but it's like they are doing this to them. This is what I can say, and I'm really sad about this. Reports from Spanish outlet Mundo Deportivo have suggested that it will be a miracle for Yamal to feature on Tyneside this week. Yamal did not feature in training with his teammates on Monday as they recovered from that comprehensive win over Valencia. Newcastle United to replicate famous 1997 Barcelona night? Whilst Flick will be desperate to have Yamal in his squad for their clash against Newcastle United, it is understood that Yamal is very unlikely to feature. Whilst that is a boost for the Magpies, Thursday night's contest will be worse for not having one of Europe's top talents gracing the St. James' Park turf. One question that FC Barcelona manager Hansi Flick still does not have an answer to this season is who his first-choice pairing for the centre-back positions will be. The 4 La Liga games so far have featured 3 different pairings. Ronald Araujo, the club vice-captain and effectively the captain in Marc-Andre ter Stegen's absence, started the first 2 games alongside Pau Cubarsí, but he was benched for the 3rd and 4th. He missed the Valencia encounter, possibly due to his long flight back from South America. However, according to Sport, Hansi Flick might have chosen to rest Araujo against Valencia to keep him fresh for the Newcastle United clash. The German coach may start the Uruguayan at St. James' Park to deal with the aerial threat of Nick Woltemade. Newcastle's brand new German striker is an absolute unit, standing tall at 6 feet 6 inches, and the English team is full of similar profiles. In this regard, there is no better central defender suited to the task in the Barcelona squad than Araujo. Even though Ronald Araujo has had some tough moments in recent Champions League campaigns, he's still one of the best defenders in physical duels when fully focused. Back in April 2023, Vinicius Jr. praised him as the toughest opponent he's ever faced, calling Araujo very strong, and saying that's exactly why he plays for Barcelona. With that in mind, Araujo is expected to be a guaranteed starter against Newcastle, most likely lining up alongside Pau Cubarsí. The 18-year-old impressed against Valencia with his strong defending and composure on the ball, making him the front-runner to partner Araujo. However, Andreas Christensen could also be an option for Hansi Flick, especially given his experience playing in England. For Araujo, facing Newcastle United on a big Champions League night would be a huge test, considering his direct role in Barcelona's last 2 eliminations from the tournament. It remains to be seen how the South American performs on the night if Flick decides to start him. So there you have it. Marc Bernal is back, Gavi continues his fight for fitness, and Barcelona face a massive test against Newcastle United without knowing if Lamine Yamal will feature. Hansi Flick is counting on Ronald Araujo to shut down Woltemade, while the club also keeps an eye on future stars like Ajax's Aaron Bouwman. What do you think, fans? Can Barcelona overcome the Magpies without Yamal? And is Araujo the right man to handle Newcastle's aerial power? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed the update, and subscribe for more daily Barca news and Champions League coverage.